The ultimate compliment is to be considered an asset by those who know you. But what exactly does that mean? And how do we get there? I believe that there is a less discussed approach to becoming a person of value, a person who is successful, respected by others, and fulfilled. It's somewhere between the hustle culture and the ease and flow of manifestation. This podcast is designed to be a resource for the ambitious, the relentless, and the rare who are breaking societal norms, going against the grain, and are open to unconventional practices as we study what it takes to be a true asset in every area of life. My hope is that you'll find this podcast unique and like it enough to share it with a friend and maybe even one day join us at one of our in-person events. Enjoy. Welcome to another podcast episode of She's an Asset with me, your host, Autumn Clifford. I'm really excited to be here with you. Today, we have a really interesting topic. We're going to talk about how situational awareness and personal growth go together. Because if you haven't noticed, that's been my tagline. That's what I'm focusing on. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all the things, both of those things on this podcast. And that really is the focus. And so you might be wondering, okay, Autumn, how does situational awareness and personal growth go together? So we're going to talk about that. Before we get going, I would like to give a special shout out to today's episode sponsor. That is Blue Monarch Co. Jewelry. It's a very near and dear special jewelry company to my heart. They have been with me for years. They have sponsored the show, these episodes. They have sponsored many events that I have done, retreats, and that company is honestly run by two of the most genuine people I've ever met. They're both retired law enforcement officers. They worked the aftermath of Ground Zero. They developed a company called Blue Monarch Co. to give other people hope and inspiration. And it is a very inspirational jewelry line. They're also obviously very pro first responders. They have like the blue line ring, the red line ring. They have a pink line ring, which I love. I debuted that at a friend of mine's Core Women's Network, which is all pink, her event. And so that was really fun. I have my necklace that I rarely ever take off. It's angel wings and has a little blue gem in it. My whole family, all the women in my family have that because we really love angels. We love having the symbolism that they're with us. I've had many clients grab this necklace. Go check out Blue Monarch Co. Go say hey. Tell them that you heard. Tell them that you heard the show. DM them or PM them wherever you're going to see them, and they'll give you a special discount. And if you mention this show, which is really exciting. Okay. So as a reminder, this podcast is completely unscripted. It has been for the last, how long has this been? It's been a 5 or 6 year long run. It's been completely unscripted. I do not have any notes sitting next to me. All I have is a topic that I'm going to talk about. So we never know what's going to come out of my mouth. And so we always want to make sure that little ears are probably not listening until you've listened to this episode first, and then you decide whether it's appropriate. Because sometimes I might drop a swear or two when I get heated. So that's really important for you to know. All right, I'm going to take a nice deep breath. Why don't you take one with me? Let's join in and let's all share a breath. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. And take a moment for us to all get connected and be grounded, and let's be on the same vibe length. So you can really pick up what I'm putting down in this episode. Also, I want you to really notice when you're not breathing in your tummy today. A lot of us do a lot of chest breathing because we're so stressed out, and your breath is what is going to help you to regulate your nervous system. But it's that simple. Put it down, like start taking nice deep breaths. I tell my clients, make your belly look like a Buddha belly. All the way exhale, fill that whole belly bowl right up. And then exhale and pull your belly button to your spine. So it's really important as we go on this journey together of really connecting to our bodies and connecting to our souls and our purpose so that we can find fulfillment and we can be happy in this life. I mean, at the end of the day, we only get one life, right? We're only doing this once. Why would we want to be anything other than pumped? We want to be pumped. I want you to wake up and I want you to be pumped. The only way you're going to do that is if you are connected to yourself. Start by taking some deep breaths. The most basic thing. Half the people listening to this are going to be like, the next step comes meditation. Well, if you know me, you know that I'm a huge proponent of meditation, all different kinds. But today, what we're going to talk about is just your breath. So take some nice deep breaths. Remind yourself today and throughout the week to breathe. Nice deep breaths, filling up that belly bowl. So at this point, you might be wondering, okay, Autumn, how does situational awareness and personal growth, how does it go together? Well, let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you. So, as you may or may not have listened to the previous episode of me sharing how I went on a sabbatical and I went on this journey of really getting to know myself and understanding my clients and understanding my offering and understanding what my mission is in this world. I have spent a lot of time teaching, traveling the state, traveling New England, and teaching situational awareness. Prior to that, I taught, I went on tour across the country and I taught females on the front lines emotional resiliency and self-leadership. And so at this time, you're like, okay, how does this all go together? Well, here's what I can tell you. One without the other is crap. One without the other is crap. And let me give you the context. My focus is to make sure you feel good about yourself. Nothing good comes from us feeling like shit about ourselves. Yes, in the moment, right? So, like short term, if you feel like crap, you're going to go work out, you're going to eat better, right? But if you change, but that won't last unless you change how you value yourself. So I want you to actually value yourself, like yourself, value yourself enough to stick with that thing. And the reason I can speak to this is because I have done it all. I've done all the diets, I've done all the workouts, I've done it all. And it doesn't matter because I won't stick with it unless I change the way that I value myself. And I value myself enough to go, you know what? This makes me feel really good. I look good. I feel better. I like how my clothes are fitting. I like that I can, run, or I like that I can do, some sort of exercise for longer periods. And I just feel a lot better. And I know that that's me taking care of myself, taking care of my body, the only body I'm going to have my entire life. Then I will stick with it. Okay. And I have been going through that this year, and I've gone through this journey. And maybe you've come with me. I talked about 75 Hard. I love 75 Hard. I love Andy Frisella. I love, he's got a great podcast. Go out and listen to it. But his program, which is free, I have a whole episode about it. You can go listen to it. It's called Do Hard Things, 75 Hard. Yeah, like that was life-changing for me. Totally. Absolutely. And what I loved about that program was that it helped me with my mindset because he requires that you read 10 pages of like a personal development book. And that was good. And it was great. And that I'm going to just say this, there's absolutely nothing wrong. I want everybody to go do 75 Hard. There's nothing missing. It's a excellent program. But for me, I did excellent, lost a bunch of weight, maintained it off for a while. But then I noticed that when I stopped the program, I had some bad habits come in. And I think we can probably all relate to that. And what I realized is I just wasn't valuing my body. I'm like, shit, like, and this doesn't mean like your girl's a foodie. Your girl loves food. Anybody who knows me, I love me food. Like, all of it. If we're hanging out, we're eating. Like anybody who knows me knows this. Like I am such a foodie. So it's not about for me like eliminating good food. Like I'm not about that life. I'm just telling you, I am now coming from a place from valuing myself, and that has changed everything, which is really what I want to talk about all the time, all day, every day. And how we do that is we have to start small. We really do. And we start by building confidence in ourselves. A lot of us, well, we don't have to start there, but the thing that we're going to talk about today, because of situational awareness and personal growth, is how they play into each other. And one thing I'm really passionate about is having people build a belief in themselves, creating a self-reliance. Um, this also helps with your resiliency, okay? Whether it be physically or emotionally, mentally, it all is tied in with how much you actually value yourself. And then we value ourselves when we see that we can do hard things. We value ourselves when we keep the promises that we make to ourselves. I think Ed Milet says that, which is really important. That we, make these promises to ourselves and then we keep them, because that is ways for us to build that confidence muscle, right? Which is why working out and eating better helps build that, like, no, I'm doing this because I value myself. Like for an example, a couple days a week, I eat flaxseed granola. I hate it. I hate flaxseed granola, but it is really good for me. It's really good for my body. It helps with inflammation. And so I will eat it because I value my body enough to help bring the inflammation down, give it something that's really good and nourishing for it. And I'm sure there's many things in your life that you might be doing subconsciously, you don't even really know, but you're doing it because quote unquote it's good for you, or you believe that it is. And so you have to look at, wow, that is where I'm valuing myself, which is important. But if we talk about building confidence, okay, which is I'm really big on, because I believe that if you actually feel truly confident in yourself, you're going to go out in this world a complete different way from somebody who um, doesn't feel good about themselves, who's actually quite disempowered. And I know that because I have been there. That has been me. I have fallen into that, come out of it, fallen into that, come out of it. I don't know if we ever truly just get over it. I just want to say that and get to the other side. I think it's a journey. I think we fall into it with some things and we come out and we go back in. And I believe that's really what this journey of life is for us. So if you're finding yourself trying to get to some finish line, I just want to give you the heads up. I don't really think that there is a finish line in life, right? Until we decide that we're crossing, until not necessarily we decide, but until life, universe, God decides it's our time. That's probably the finish line. But I recognize this in myself that have spent so much of my time just hitting goals. Got to hit this goal, got to hit this goal. What's next? What's next? And there's nothing wrong with any of it. You just have to watch your perspective, right? And so I know I'm going off. I'm going off like I usually do on my soapboxes. Um, but all of this is really relevant and it matters to building that value and the resiliency and the self-reliance, which will give you the ultimate freedom. There is nothing more freeing than knowing how to protect yourself and feeling safe with yourself and within yourself while simultaneously feeling like you value yourself enough to help yourself grow and expand, transform, and become an individual who's just always growing, always growing. Tony Robbins always says, if you're not growing, you're shrinking. There's no such thing as a plateau. You're either growing or you're shrinking. So expand your mind. There's so much in this world for all of us to learn and know and, get to know about ourselves. And so I've been on this journey for a long time. Obviously, the last year during my little sabbatical I took off of this podcast and really all kind of social media, posting anyways, I wasn't super consistent at all. I've realized this. I've realized that I have in the past sometimes come from a place of not feeling good enough, and that gets reflected back to me. The universe does that. It does it to you too. I've come from a place of not liking myself, trying to get away from myself, trying to be like somebody else, trying to be and emulate other people. And that is just making us a second place version of somebody else. That is not making us first place of ourselves. And that truly, right? That truly is the goal, is for us to be authentic and be who we actually are. And so on that journey and on this, I've really discovered and I've seen firsthand what combining the skill set of teaching people how to, protect themselves, how to be situationally aware, how to be prepared, how to not be an easy target for predators. I've seen what that does all alone. It's incredible. But when you combine that with personal growth, a system that somebody can use and utilize and wants to be a part of, and wants to be a part of these conversations that are very mind expansive, that are changing them on such a deep level, going in and, helping their subconscious to release all this crap, all that is holding them back from literally living their best lives. And you have to understand your best life, in this social mediaification of life, your best life isn't like sitting on the beach doing nothing. That's a fine vacation, right? And that's fun for some time, but your best life is doing things every day that light you up. Now, again, we're going to have to do some things that we don't enjoy doing, okay? Like I had to do a bunch of cooking this morning. I like cooking. I don't love cooking. I don't jump out of bed to cook, but I had to do some cooking. So I did it, right? I don't really like love that, but I love eating. But I love the end result. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Right. So I'm over here like, I gotta do something I don't really want to do to get to that result of me putting it in my mouth. So we really, so when we see that, when I have seen the results of that, it's been very mind-blowing for me. I actually had the opportunity to do a full day training with a group of EMTs, emergency medical technicians. And I believe that's what it stands for. Don't get mad at me if it's not. Anyways, these women, I had young 20-year-olds, all the way up to women who had been on the job for 15, 20 years. They were in their 60s. We called them our OGs. I called them our OGs, and they thought I meant old gals. We were all like rolling on the floor hysterically laughing because I'm like, no, it means you're like an original gangster. Like you've never heard of like baby gangster, you know, original gangster. Like you're the original. And they're like, they cried laughing. They're like, oh my God, I'm an original gangster. And it was so funny. But the moral of the story is I taught them these concepts, the shifts in these women who are completely exhausted, who are way overworked. All of them work so many jobs. My heart goes out to them. My respect for them is through the roof. But the shift in the perspective, the light in their eyes, it was just it was just coming open, like teaching them how to think differently, how to look at things differently, how to go within themselves, journal prompts. I asked a lot of questions that they probably, hadn't really thought of. And then we combined that with teaching them about situational awareness, how to use their body as a weapon, creating a plan so that in times of chaos, they're not part of the chaos. They're actually part of the solution. Having conversations, there is nothing more empowering than these two concepts. And when you combine them, it's to me, it's just whew, right? Like, wow. And it really combines everything, because when we think about, using your body as a weapon, you want to make sure that your body is healthy, because otherwise you're going to run out of gas really quickly. You're not going to be able to use your body as a weapon for a long period of time. You've got like one strike, right? Or like one quick sprint, and that's what you have. And I think that's also been some epiphanies that people are having, and it's also a way for people who really don't feel good about themselves to really find value within themselves. My throat was getting dry. Had to take a sip of water. And so, and honest, I haven't seen a whole lot like this. And I'm like, and I'm all, you guys know me. If you don't know me, then you're gonna get to know I'm very intuitive. I talk to God a lot, talk to the angels a lot. And um that's a very big part of everything that I do is hey, God, what would you have me do? And who would you have me serve? And how would you have me serve them? That is very much a part of my conversations that I have with God. And this just it flowed out of me one day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. I mean, combining my two absolute loves because of the results I've seen, not only in myself, I mean, I've seen them in myself. It's changed my life. I mean, this last year has just completely changed me because I took things that were in my subconscious, right? Like, so I've been in the martial arts since I've been 5 years old. I'm a second degree black belt. I've competed um, all over the state of Maine. I've competed internationally. I've competed at the national level and won multiple championships. And super proud of myself. Didn't realize how powerful I was. Had no idea. Had no idea. This is why I'm so big about this, is because I had no idea how powerful I was. None. And it didn't matter. People were telling me, my instructors or my parents, a lot of my mom, a lot of my dad, you're very powerful, you're very powerful. But I never really fully understood what any of it meant because nobody talked to me about the power of my mind. Nobody talked to me about the power of perspective and the power of liking myself. Nobody talked to me about these things. So I've been walking around 30 years, well, 25 because I started when I was 5 years old. I have been walking around, probably I would say I developed that story of that I was not powerful around 8. So how many years has that been? So I don't know, 15, 12, 13 years. I've been walking around, okay, so almost over half of my life, telling myself a story that I am not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not powerful. I don't believe in myself. And the results that I have gotten, I mean, they've been great. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I live a great life. It is something I could teach you how to manifest. We'll talk about it more on podcasts because that's what I've done is all manifestation. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I don't work hard, but it's definitely the energetics of success. I talk about it all the time with my husband. Anybody who will listen to me, I'm always talking about the energetics because that is everything. So I've been walking around telling myself this story. And so the results that have been showing up, while they've been wonderful, they've been subpar because I've been coming out of this place of I'm not powerful. I need you to love me so that I could love me. I need to belong somewhere outside of myself so that I can love myself. I needed to look a certain way before I could love myself. I needed to make a certain amount of money before I saw value in myself. Do you understand how powerful it is to make that shift and be like, actually, I'm good. Like, I'm very valuable right now. I'm the asset in my life right now. And here's all of the ways. And then take action from that point. I am not condoning like just laying on the couch all day, not being and not contributing productively to society. I'm not condoning that. But what I am condoning and what I encourage is for you to really take a step back and reflect on where are you coming out of? When you show up to work, when you go to your business, when you go to school, when you just show up in life, are you coming from a place of, I'm not good enough. Please love me. Please accept me. Please see me. Please hear me. Or are you coming from a place of, I'm, I value me. I'm an asset. I know I am. These are all the ways. Here's my energetically, like I know how to protect myself and my body. I've got a plan. So if chaos ensues in my family, I've got my family's back. My house is set up for success. Um, I know that I am the creator of my thoughts. I'm the creator of my reality, right? Um, and you become like, do you come from this place of the power is no longer on the outside of you, it's within you? Coming from that place, you will create and you will impact far more people than you ever could. Coming from the place of, please love me, please see me, please accept me so that I can accept myself. That's not what we're here to do. And so I'm hoping that we will have a domino effect together through me having this like whole like awakening and really moving forward in a powerful way of, but coming from a place of like, I'm good with me and I want you to be good with you. I want you to be good with you. Because if we can do that, then we can really have a domino effect and really inspire younger generation. I'm so for inspiring this younger generation. In fact, I highly recommend if you've got a teenager, put this in, especially a female. You got a young girl, teenager, preteen, put this in her ears. But even my guys, even the males, I'll tell you a story, and you're going to hear me say this over and over again because I'm so inspired by it. A school in northern Maine had me up. They hired me to go and teach like a 2 hour, kind of like it wasn't an assembly. They signed it up. It was a 2 hour class on situational awareness. Okay, I had girls and boys. It was on for 2 hours from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. Okay, hard time slot, but it's fine. And I had, it was the Friday before senior prom. It was the last Friday for seniors. Okay. And it was a beautiful day out. And I had 40 students. Do you know not one got on their cell phone? 2 hours. Do you know that when I tried to let them out a half an hour early, because I just feel bad. I'm like, I get your attention span. Do you know they all wouldn't move and begged me to continue teaching? And then I had a young boy, high school age boy, come up to me and he just said to me, Autumn, you don't know how much I appreciate this class because nobody's having these conversations with us. Nobody. I was shocked. I'm like, really? And he's like, no, you have no idea. I mean, half of the class was boys. It was so impactful. And so I just share this with you because this information is life-changing. It will change a course. It could save a life. It could save your life. It could save your child's life. Like, teach them this. Value yourself. And as we continue, we'll talk more about how to do that. And as we also continue, I'm going to have opportunities for you to work with me, take some courses of mine, work with me more in a up close and personal way versus just the podcast so that you're constantly being supported. We can grow together, and I can support you in a deeper way. So as we round out, what do situational awareness and personal growth have to do with each other? I've laid it out for you. It's everything. And the last thing is if we go back to like the ancient martial arts, which I feel like in North America, we've lost so much. I know that at my dojo, when I was growing up, there was a very big emphasis on it was a body, mind, and soul kind of thing. Martial arts, that is the original martial arts, like over in Japan, because that's what I've studied. I study Shotokan karate. I can't speak on any other kind, but I can tell you it was a mind, body, soul thing. It was not just a body thing. How can I kick ass? How can I it really they incorporated personal growth just differently in just different ways. And so I don't really think that we're too far off from where we originated here. But I think that we've lost some of that in the BJJ and the mixed martial arts world and this whole like I just see a lot of egos. I see a lot of shit online that just takes away from the sport and the personal growth aspect. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it could be just what I'm seeing is just a clip, right? It's just a clip. I mean, but let me just tell you, the best of the best, don't get it twisted. The best of the best fighters are not only doing their body, right? Getting their body in shape, doing all of the stuff, they're working on their mind too. Just don't get it twisted. It just may not be as popular as like just seeing the fight. But please know, they have got to have mindset work, which is what this is what I'm all about, which is what we're going to work on together. Hope this has been a useful episode, if you know somebody who needs to hear this, please share this out. You are the only way that this podcast grows is if you go ahead and share it, tag me, I will reshare. I appreciate you. If you have any questions you want me to answer here live on the show, please email me or PM me them. Autumn@autumnclifford.com is my email, or you can find me on any of the socials, the Autumn Clifford on Instagram. And what am I? Autumn Clifford on TikTok, and Autumn Clifford Schmidt is my personal Facebook. Okay. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the She's an Asset podcast. If you wouldn't mind, could you please share this out? The only way we grow and I can get this out to as many people as possible is with your help. So we're kind of in this together. And the good thing is I know you have my back. So I want to say thank you and ask for you to share the show. And if we're not hanging out in the socials, I hope that you'll come and hang out with me. I'm Autumn Clifford pretty much everywhere. Thank you so much. See you next time.